Hey, Thomas.
Hi!
You want to talk about some beers?
Well, since we're here. Ooh, that rhymed.
Oh, we're not gonna keep that up for long.
Get up the shears. That also rhymed.
If I can start it and you have to rhyme everything, then we can keep it going. But yeah.
Well, why do you fear that people will hear about the shears and tears? My dear. That didn't make sense. Sorry, so we'll cut all that out.
So
what are we doing?
We're gonna do Flanders Reds, a beer style that I'm sure you've homebrewed many times.
Almost exclusively, because what I like...
Once you do it once. And
yeah, you just got to keep it going.
Yeah.
What I like is something that requires at least a 2 or 3 year lead time and is very expensive to do.
Yeah.
That's
time consuming.
Yep. Space consuming.
Ruins all of your equipment,
yeah.
Essentially.
What's not to love? Is my question is why aren't more people doing it?
Yeah. Yeah, this is a beer style that not a lot of like legitimate professional brewers fuck with.
No.
Because
why would you? There are people out there that do it amazingly well, right? You mentioned we're doing the brewery, right?
This is the brewery's Oud Tart.
Oud Tart.
This one's from 2016.
So it's got a little extra panache on it.
Yeah.
I like it.
It is really good.
It's actually it's very tart, but it's also a good level. Like it's not a warhead.
Yeah.
The ruse that the brewery does, I love, but it is a super soaker of tartness in your face.
Yeah, it's aggressive. This one tastes like what this beer style should taste like, which I appreciate. It's got that acetic acid note to it. It's got some oakiness to it. It's got some maltiness in there.
Yes.
You gotta look for it, but it's in there.
It's there. It provides that kind of background body. But you have Duchess. You have
the
brewery. You have Rodenbach.
What's the full name on that one?
Duchess the Borg. Duchess the Borgnine. That's all right. Borgil.
Bourgeois.
Him too. That's why I'm just like, Duchess.
Yeah, Duchess.
You know the one.
Isn't that Archer? Isn't he the Duchess?
Codename Duchess. What are some of the others?
There's a Rodenbach. Rodenbach almost exclusively makes these beers. It's kind of weird.
Monk's Cafe.
Monk's Cafe, yeah.
Is Vandergenst of Flanders?
I think it's an Oud Brun, so it's close, but it's not quite there. It's a subtle difference.
That's one side of the same coin, I think. But
you're gonna piss off half of Belgium. You start talking shit like that.
Well, let's be frank. What are they gonna do about it?
Fair point.
Come at me, Belgium. I mean, as soon as you have some time free when you're not letting Germany walk all over you, I'd be interested to hear your complaints. I've also alienated all of Belgium from our podcast. This one is... I love this style, but it is unequivocally, leave this to the pros.
No.
What homebrewing advice, Thomas, do you have on brewing an Oud Brew or Flanders Red? Sorry, don't. Just, if you want one, here's how you homebrew it. You take $20, you go to a bottle shop, and you buy one. Also, if you homebrew it, what are you going to do with 5 gallons in the smallest batch of a Flanders Red?
Well, I mean, it'll keep.
That's a fair point. It'll keep. But how often are you drinking an Oud Brew? A Flanders Red. That's something, if you did manage to go through homebrewing and you did do it, you spent all this money and time doing it, and you'd probably end up giving most of it away. Yeah.
Do you remember the last time you had a Flanders Red?
It might have been at most a year, probably.
Yeah, I think mine was about a year. I like to.
It might have been this bottle or Vandergenst. I know Bruin, not.
No, I had a Duchess. Like I guess it was less than a year ago. It was right around a year ago. So I like to introduce some of my cashiers at work to
not
import beers. Because nobody ever drinks import beers anymore.
It's such a shame too, because there's some real gems.
Yeah.
I mean,
that Duchess is one of them. Duchess is a great beer.
That Duchess, the not to get off topic, because that's not a problem with us. Your West Malls, if you can find a not terribly old Le Chouffe, if you can find like a Tripel Carmelite, or there's one I'm forgetting, Troubadour Magma.
Oh,
if you
yeah.
can find it fresh, which
You're not going to find those around here anymore. Those are done.
Yeah, I figured as much.
Yeah, those Magma, it's technically a triple IPA.
It's like a triple Belgian IPA.
But it's a Belgian IPA, yeah. So
but it's not even really that IPA, but it's something, when you have it good and fresh, it's like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
But even the other stuff, Orval, Duvel, or the
Yeah.
Duvel, you always mispronounce it, doesn't matter. All those are fantastic, and they should be celebrated.
Yeah, like those La Trappe beers, those are all good.
Great. They're great. But yeah, you're right. I like having one of these to introduce it to people because I think people don't understand how delicious they are, these styles. I think you're getting a little bit more of that as sours and tarts get a little more mainstream. Somebody who may love Sea Quench.
Yeah.
Which is unequivocally a great beer. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So maybe they're more receptive to something like this. Because this to me is like combine a tart sour beer with an oaky red wine. Is what to me it kind of tastes like. And I love every second of it.
Mm-hmm. It is I'd say it's the most wine-like beer style for sure.
Yeah. Other than when I pour a lot of Malbec into a Bud Light. I call it a Malbec Light, and you use a Bud Light.
You don't call it a Malbec Arita?
Oh, no, it doesn't. Please. You're making a fool of yourself. No, this one is truly stunning. So, I think one of the big parts about it of homebrewing, like not being able to do it, you said it. Like even if you had the time, the inclination, the space, the money, all of that, you're still inoculating this beer. And it's going to ferment with 2, 3, 4 types of different yeasts, which are horribly hard to eradicate.
Yeah.
So essentially,
I don't even know. Can you just buy from Homebrewsters? Can you just buy fucking pediococcus and fucking
not
acetobacter? That can't be.
You can buy lacto.
Yeah.
You can buy like a sour mix, which is like the 4 of them to combine. Then I guess you can make a starter and go from there. But you'd have to special order that.
Sure.
And then to really, there's only. Let's just assume you have a standard homebrew set up with plastic fermenters. Yeah. Maybe you have some sort of, so your bucket or your kettle stainless, or at least metal of some sort, fine. But like plastic tubing, plastic buckets, draft lines, all that, if they get infected with this, just like Brett, you need to try and clean that. And to clean it properly and get rid of that, you need like industrial grade acids.
Yeah.
Some
of those are like airborne too, right? Like acetobacter, it's just airborne. Who knows what it's on?
Yeah. So ostensibly,
it could get on your fucking brush.
It could be on you.
Right. And then it's back in the mix.
That's a deep cut. But yeah, you really, if you're going to do funky sour beers, you should have 2 separate sets of equipment. So you've immediately doubled your equipment cost, assuming that you want to do that. That's at least double the cost. Oh, double the space. Yeah. I don't know. You still have to let these things sit for how long? 2 years to get to the right place.
These are blended too.
Yeah.
That's the other thing.
So start your own Solera method. Yeah, got it. It's sounding really easy.
Yeah. So then you can't one batch isn't gonna cut it.
So while I find these interesting, they're great, and I like them every once in a while, I don't need that much. They're almost impossible to brew or produce on a homebrew level. They scale up quickly. They're expensive. You need new equipment. In the meantime, you could turn around how many IPAs and flavored stouts if you want something interesting?
Dozens.
Oh yeah, and the raw materials, they're expensive too. You don't have a whole lot of hops, but you need a lot of malt and yeast.
Yeah.
So I would say do yourself a favor. Abandon hope, all ye who enter here. And that's it. Because why would you do it? Because how much does a bottle of this cost from the brewery? 20?
I didn't pay for that.
Well, I'll tell you, it's about 20. But really, you can get a single 12-ounce bottle of Monks or something for $4 or $5.
Yeah, $4 or $5.
So,
yeah, for sure.
The juice is not worth.
You can get Monk's Cafe in cans now.
Because that's what I want
to enjoy this at the beach.
When I go to the beach in the sweltering heat, or I'm out on the river, floating. Mm-hmm. I said, what would you like? An ice cold lager, a Kolsch, a wheat, a wit? No, man. I want to pucker up hard.
Yeah. I
want it to sit in my stomach and kind of churn.
I made that mistake. I went to a little bluegrass music festival thing. It's 3-day thing.
Yeah.
And I had a bunch of beer, but I realized that before too long I had nothing left but sours. Day 2, it's nothing but sours left. I had some Sea Quench. I had some of that 10-barrel cucumber sour. Have you had that beer?
No, I can't stand cucumbers.
Oh my god, that beer's amazing.
I cucumbers are
yeah.
my
If you don't
arch
like
enemy.
cucumbers, yeah, then no. But
Because
that beer's
you know
so
what happens when cucumbers get older? They turn into pickles and they're gross. I hate cucumbers.
But yeah, I had those two. I had that On Q from Four Hands, which is another cucumber beer. Cucumber and hibiscus. That beer's fucking great. I was like,
I don't know that you can pick two flavors I don't want more.
You don't like flowery pickles?
I don't like flour. Yeah, I'm the weird one.
But yeah, so I'm like, I have 3 sours to choose from.
Were you like subconsciously like picking around them, and then you realized, oh no, there's only sours left?
Maybe, because I mean, I was drinking sours, and then I was drinking other stuff, and then other stuff was gone. It was rough. I ended up just like,
it was rough.
I was like, well, I don't want to drink a sour right now, so I'm just kind of seeing what everybody else has. I drank a bunch of moonshine that people kept handing me. That was not a good idea.
I gotta be honest with you. When the lesser of two evils is moonshine, you really gotta step back and examine your life choices.
This was not store-bought moonshine. This
was
good. Legitimate moonshine.
It's what the Irish call poutine. It's Let me ask you this. When you had a glass or a bottle or a cup or whatever and you were getting ready to drink it,
just a sip,
was the air above said vessel wavy? Did it have stink lines?
Probably.
Okay. See, that's a problem. Because if the air starts to wave, get away. That didn't rhyme, but it's still valid advice.
I don't know if I can take advice that doesn't rhyme.
Okay. Let's workshop this. If the air does wave, don't be brave. Make sure you stave away from that Dave? Cave? Fave? That fave.
There you go.
Yeah. Just had to go through the alphabet.
Good enough.
I mean, it rolls right off the top. I just looked at the audio track of where that gap was. It was just a flat line for like 7 seconds.
Well, I'll make sure to leave that in.
Absolutely. And leave this in too.
Oh, yeah.
But not this. Cut this out.
Pull back the curtain a little bit.
Yeah. It's what we call professionalism.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So you don't have a lot to offer in terms of homebrew tips, except don't do it.
Yeah, it's the Monty Python. Run away. I don't have a whole lot more than that. If you want to try it, great. But if you are going to do it...
Well, that's what's great about it. Like,
patience.
Nobody should make this fucking beer.
But
thankfully, a few people do.
Yes. If you did attempt it, I would say it would help if you had a lot of... if you had stainless steel fermenting vessels. That would make cleaning up the equipment and not infecting other batches easier.
Possible.
Don't put it on a kegerator or keg. I would say bottle it. Spend the money and get yourself another auto siphon and stuff to bottle, and that's your sour stuff.
If you bottle it, you almost have to fucking like cork and cage the thing. Like this only had a cap, but
yeah,
if you're just like figuring out how to make one,
that's the other
thing. They're probably gonna pop on you.
I would also say with this, you don't need a ton of carb with this beer.
Yeah.
So I would err on the side of low filling if you were to bottle.
Because all these like the Brett and things like they're all like secondary fermentation. Like they're gonna take care of it over time.
Yes.
Because Brett can ferment for like a couple of years, right? Like it just keep going.
Yeah. So that is I would low fill so that you have headroom to handle the excess carb.
Yeah.
After you bottle, start testing. So don't let them sit for a long time, or else you will have bottle bombs. What else? It's my big thing is outside of everything we mentioned, you're spending a lot of money, and then by the time you get to 2 years down the line when you finally test it, it may be a lost batch.
Yeah.
Or worse, let's say you make 5 gallons, right? And you have 2 cases, and you slowly test. By the time you're done testing and it's ready, you may have burned through a third of your supply.
Yeah.
It's just I can't think of a tougher beer to brew than this one. I don't know. I literally would love to hear a suggestion of anything that's more difficult than this beer.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything. Bourbon barrel stouts aren't this hard.
Right, because that's, what's throw them in the barrel.
Brew heavy, throw them in a barrel, wait. This is literally an organic.
Even like that ice box with the jacking. Like even that's fucking.
We're just talking about some jacking.
It's my new favorite term. for...
Look, we got some beer. We got a jacket. Sir, what are you saying?
Yeah, but like even that's not as much of a shit show as this has the potential to be.
No, it's a complete unknown. You're counting on something happening at a microscopic level that you can't see. So, good luck. If you do try it, please send me some. But I don't think it's a wise investment of money.
You got a little bit left here.
Am I going to get the Easties?
Stop. So when it gets cloudy. Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine.
It's good for you.
It's full of B12 and things. It's probiotic. Is that what they're saying these days?
Yeah. It is probiotic. Like that's what's the one they use in yogurt? Is that lacto?
Lactobacillus.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I know stuff.
That's fine.
I suppose that's another way you could start.
It's good for your biome.
Yeah, there's another one. Brew yourself up a Flanders Red and inoculate it with some Siggy's yogurt.
It's sweet.
Kettle
it's
sound.
not too sweet.
Oh, 0% sugar, sir. It's just paste and sour. Just how I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I had more advice here. I have more advice on like your stouts and some other stuff.
Oh yeah, like I said,
this one's.
I don't know why. Like I said, I don't know why anyone would make this kind of beer, except for the fact that it's really good. But
and I know these bottles are expensive, but compared to what it would cost otherwise, I'm actually surprised they're this inexpensive.
Yeah.
Like you can get a Rodenbach relatively cheap.
Yeah, I mean some of them are pricey, like they're special edition, but like the Rodenbach, like the classic.
Well, like the Grand Cru is a classic, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's called classic. Maybe they changed it to Grand Cru.
Okay.
Either way, like they make nothing but Flanders
Yeah.
Reds. But yeah, they're not that bad. Like how much is a Duchess? Like $12? They're not that bad.
The big bottle?
Yeah.
It's like 12, yeah. And a 4-pack is like 21 or something, or 22
Well,
of the smaller bottles.
take like a limited edition Evil Twin,
Oh,
something or other. We'll run you like $35 sometimes. And it's
Can we
hit or miss if it's going to be garbage or good enough.
Can we talk about Evil Twin for a second?
Absolutely. I have lots of thoughts about Evil Twin.
I don't know that I've ever had something from them like this is worth the money I spent.
They're very expensive.
They're so expensive and they're not that great.
I like them better than Mikkeller. I've had worse luck with the other twin.
Absolutely, I cannot argue with that point. But that's like me saying I like the flu because it isn't strep.
Yeah.
Like neither's a great choice. This one's slightly less bad.
Yeah.
I will say this. There was one, I can't remember what, I don't think it was called Plan B. Maybe it was called Plan B from Evil Twin. It was like an Imperial Porter way back in the day. Fine. But I think where I really started like going off the deep end with Evil Twin is the Jesus stout line. Even more Jesus with vanilla. Even more Jesus with this. And then it turned Spanish for some reason.
Yeah.
And it was like, I get it, but can't you like do something a little bit more like forehands, for instance? So like, here's Madagascar and you have a variant, or here's chocolate milk stout and you have a variant on it. Instead, they just keep adding things to the name. It's like even more Jesus Imperial Stout with coconuts, with vanilla, with
have you kept up with the?
No.
Okay, that is very true, and that is my main complaint with Evil Twin. I'm on Beer Advocate now. I'm gonna read you some of the names of the newer Evil Twin beers.
Let's have them. Ooh, are you ready? Do you do some exercising before you rattle these off?
This is gonna be
la 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 la.
So these are in alphabetical order, but so here's one. It's just an American Imperial IPA. It's called "A Man Who Doesn't Love IPA Easily Loves Too Much." That's the name.
Perfect. Because that helps me as a consumer.
Bourbon barrel aged Imperial Mexican Biscotti Cake Break.
That's the yes. This is the one.
Yeah.
The Biscotti break ones are fucking annoying.
Diane, never drink IPA that has been anywhere far from Galaxy.
Okay.
Every day, once a day, give yourself an IPA. Double dry hopped. Like, I've started just like, if like my rep who carries Evil Twin stuff, if they offer me Evil Twin stuff, I'm like, what's it fucking called? And if they get to 5 words, I'm like, I don't fucking want that.
Nope.
Because like that's all their new beers are like haikus. And it makes me crazy.
I'm a person who loves haiku, but not as a fucking beer name. Put some bullshit on the side. oh, do you want this new one? It's a blueberry one from you between called Justin Blueber. I'm like,
yeah.
I just go, I don't understand the reference and I won't respond to it. I'm basically Lucille Bluth.
Here you go. I don't know how to put this, but IPA is kind of a big deal. Like, that's not funny.
No, this is just someone talking. God, it makes me happy for somebody like Four Hands who does like, oh, this is citywide pale ale. This is what it pairs with. Or give me a brewery. Rockwell's doing like, okay, here's Bird Up. It's a rye pale ale, and here's 3 words to describe it on the side.
Right.
Or here's whatever. Major key, juicy, hoppy, strong.
Yeah. Even Second Shift, who's pretty up their own ass by and large.
I mean,
is
they're
succinct.
Yes.
You know, like
they are. Second Shift is such an enigma to me because one moment they'll do something amazing, and the next moment I'm like, do all of you have split personalities? Because like this was so cool.
Sometimes you feel like they're just fucking with you.
And the next one, there's a poster for a beer fest about the owner, but the poster is a cat with its eyes bleeding. I'm like, why does this make me want beer?
Here you go. It's like I'm having the most beautiful IPA and the most terrible nightmare.
This is like bad Dickens.
It's just an IPA, American Imperial IPA.
Also, how many different IPAs do you really need?
That's the thing.
That's like the 4th one you've mentioned.
They never make the same beer twice. It's frustrating.
I get spontaneity. I get keeping things new. But eventually people want to stand by.
Like, Molotov Light is a great beer that they make. It's 3 syllables.
Yes.
It's funny because it's an 8% beer that they call light.
Yes.
Because Molotov Cocktail is 13%.
Molotov
Light.
What's the other one? Imperial Molotov or whatever? It's like 900%.
It's like 18%. Yeah.
Don't need that.
I used to sell that to this dude when we were doing deliveries. We used to deliver booze. The downtown store still does, but this dude would buy it like as much as I could get at a time.
Really?
He's dead now.
Oh no! Oh no!
We used to deliver, like this guy, whenever Schlafly made their bourbon barrel aged Imperial Stout, the 750, the big one.
Yeah.
He would buy it like 4 cases at a time, and I delivered to him.
Why?
He wanted was high alcohol beers. You know, he's like, because I was like, I've got Molotov Cocktail. He's like, how strong is it? 13%. What do you got stronger? I'm like, dude, it's 13% beer. Like, you want a liqueur is what you want.
Yeah.
Like, it's more bang for your buck. But all he wanted was like 15 and above beers, specifically. That's all he wanted. And I don't think that Schlafly one was that high, but he had a sweet spot for that.
Those were in the 13s and 14s though. But here's the thing: if either A, dude was an alcoholic, in which case,
undoubtedly,
there is an easier delivery system for pure booze percent,
right?
Unless he couldn't do wine or spirits because don't know.
Yeah.
So he was purely a beer high alc guy?
Yeah.
Weird.
So whenever Schlafly stopped making those bourbon barrel stouts,
he switched to the barley wine?
Well, no, they stopped doing that one too. Like, they stopped doing that line all around. And like, I had the distributor like hunt some down. They like transferred like 80 cases. Yeah, like something ridiculous, like 80 cases from Kansas City or something. And
all to you?
Maybe not all to me, but the majority of it went to me, and all of it went to that guy over the course of a few months.
You're talking like 30, 40 cases.
Yeah, easly over the course of a few months.
That's also
he took it all.
That's cripplingly expensive.
Oh,
God,
he was fine with it.
This is the most amazing and also the saddest story.
It's very sad.
It doesn't have to be died, but it was sad before that.
Well, so like we would do like. After a while, we stopped doing deliveries, but this guy lived like right down the road from us. So like, if he called, because he never came into the store, never ever. But like, if he'd call and place an order, I'd be like, whatever, I'll bring it out to you. It's so easy.
Where did he live? Because I'm familiar with the area.
Like town and country, like not far off of 270 right off Manchester.
Like okay, we need more. So north of the store or south of the store?
East of my store, west of 270, south of Manchester.
That's literally.
I don't want to get too specific.
No, that's literally where I grew up.
Really?
Yes.
Well, yeah, it's in a subdivision, but I can't remember the name of the subdivision.
I desperately want to know. But anyway, That's so strange.
Well, whatever, I can cut that part out. Yeah, I can't remember the name of the street he was on, but it was like a 5-minute drive from the store.
Interesting.
And I get tipped, so I'm like, yeah, I'll keep coming out and bringing you whatever the fuck you want. After a while, he started ordering those Rinkaskaya beers, those garbage Lithuania beers.
Oh no, those are kerosene and
those are horrible, but they're really strong and they're cheap as fuck. And so like one day he called in a delivery of like 2 or 3 cases of Rinkaskaya beers, like 14% fucking sugary sweet garbage beers.
Oh my god.
And my one manager, this is like the first time he went out there, but let him go. His name's Kyle, so I told Kyle, like, yeah, go for it. I don't fucking feel like going out there today. So Kyle went and delivered it to him, and then the next day his wife called the store and said that he died, and can she return the beer?
Oh my god!
So we took it back. So I probably still have some on my shelf. So I have this dead guy's beer on my shelf because, like, what else are you gonna do with it?
How have you never fucking told me this story before? I'm fascinated by this.
If you go to my store, not that I need to tell you this, don't buy any Rinkaskaya beer because it's
what is it possessed?
It's a dead man's beer.
You have beer at your store that literally killed a guy.
Yes, I do.
I feel like you're marketing this incorrectly. I got a lot to think about here, man.
It's great, yeah, but I mean it's not great.
We're not saying that a guy died is great.
I feel like he was kind of like that's kind of what his end game was though, because
you said I know you're saying end game is just a thing, but you said end game and all I can think about was Avengers. It's like so his plan was to wait out the Thanos purge by drinking Lithuanian, let's be honest, ether is the closest thing to those Lithuanian beers are bad.
Yeah. And he would only get the strongest ones, like the 14 and 15%, like that.
I need the Baltica 9. It's only the highest. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That is terrifying.
It's bonkers.
What's his full name and social security number? So would he just call and say what's the strongest thing you got?
Essentially.
So he didn't even really know what was in the store. Was there like an online thing where he could search?
No. Well, the thing is, like the first time that guy called, it took me like getting all this set up was a nightmare because he's a fucking drunk old man. Because he's like, I used to have a deal worked out with this place where like I'd call him and I'd pay over the phone and then and I'd have a guy who works for me doing what I don't know. I have a guy who works for me go pick it up.
So many layers of this. Oh my goodness.
And I was like, well, I can't really take credit cards over the phone. Like, I don't fucking know you. Like, obviously you sound like you're over 21, but I don't fucking take credit card payments over the phone. Like, it's pretty highly regulated in an industry. Yeah. I'm not going to take your credit card over the phone. I don't fucking know you. If you got a dude coming in to pay for your shit, give him your credit card. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and that was like, he couldn't figure that out. And he's like, well, it worked fine at this other place. I'm like, I don't know what this other place was. And they're not there anymore, so... Yeah. But we were doing Drizzly at the time,
Okay.
So, like, downtown still does Drizzly, but we don't do it anymore. Because
it's not worth it.
I mean, it's not at all. But I told him about that. I'm like, dude, we got this thing. It's Drizzly. You order online, and then we'll deliver it to you. And, like, had no idea. It was like... I talked to this guy probably for, like, 2 hours over the course of a few days before I finally got it to where he could fucking get booze to his house. So, like, the first delivery...
I'm so fascinated by
the first delivery, I was like, listen... This one's fucking mine. Like, I'm getting that fucking tip money off this dude. I've been putting in my time. I got like a $40 tip the first time from him. And progressively it went lower, so I would usually get like $10.
Because he wasn't buying Schlafly bourbon, he was buying Lithuanian garbage.
Yeah, exactly. He's fucking on a downward trajectory.
His per diem went down.
Oh my god, it was a fucking nightmare. One time my cashier Seth delivered to him, and every now and then he'd be like, just because usually he's just like, when you deliver, just put it in the garage. Because we're supposed to have people sign for shit, but he's like, just put it in the garage. I'm like, whatever.
This guy sounds like recluse then.
Yeah, essentially. He did not leave his house. But like one time, Seth delivered to him, and the dude was like, put it all in the garage, bring me in a couple bottles of this one thing, whatever. So Seth brought it in, he went around to the back door, the glass door, and the dude's like, because the dude, like, he's got his desk, it's his kitchen table that he just sits at, and he's like got his shit set up, his computer, and that's where he's fucking at all the time, I imagine. He's got a wall full of like awesome fucking German old school steins, like this whole fucking wall. But so Seth goes in there, and the guy's like, and Seth's like, oh, you need to sign, for it. So the guy stands up and said he was only wearing a shirt. He's straight Donald Duck in the shit. He's completely bottomless. And Seth is like, oh, God damn it.
Donald Duckin.
Yeah, he's like, I got it. I'll suck it in. Like, yeah, man, you can't get too close. So yeah, that's just this guy just hangs out,
literally
with he's wearing a shirt, pounding fucking 14% beers. Like that was his day.
You know what the funniest part about this is? It's not funny that he passed away. The funny part is that his wife called. So
I didn't even know he had a wife. Like I talked to his daughter a couple times when I was trying to set things up with him because she understands what the internet is, and so I was setting it up through her. But like, wife, that was a new one on me. So I don't know.
He's at his kitchen table, hanging brain.
Yep.
Working out, ordering,
typing away.
A not inexpensive amount of booze.
Oh yeah, it's every now and then he would throw some vodka in there too. I have to assume that he's dumping vodka into this beer,
making it a little bit stronger.
Yeah. Yeah, every now and then he would order some like Tito's or something.
Oh my goodness. That effort of like the vodka reminds me of a guy. There was one time I was bartending in McGurk's, and it was some bullshit. It was like a Friday night, and a guy comes up and he's relatively well dressed, but he's a younger guy. I'm gonna say he's probably mid to late 20s, like sweater, well dressed, everything else. I'm like, hey man, what can I get you? He goes, I got Tanqueray back there. I said, as it's the world's most popular gin. Yes, I do have Tanqueray back there. And it's like 2005 at this point, or 2004. I'm like, yeah, I got Tanqueray. No problem. He goes, cool. I'll have a quintuple Tanqueray on the rocks. I said, just so I'm clear, you want 5 shots of Tanqueray in a glass with ice? He goes, yep. I said, nothing else? No. Do you want a lime? Oh yeah, that might be fun.
Go just give me the rang pour.
So I pour a 20 count of Tanqueray in an imperial pint glass like this one.
Yeah.
It came up with the ice almost to the top. I was like, that is just with ice. That's like a 20-ounce glass full of fucking gin with one wedge of lime in it. He goes, I'm like, whatever it was at the time, it wasn't that expensive. It was like $23.75. It was not that expensive. He goes, here's whatever he handed me. It was a decent tip or whatever else. And he starts walking away, and he takes the straw, he stirs a little bit, takes a sip, he goes, right on, man, good mix. I'm like, sir, that's his gin, buddy. There's no mix, man.
Right, I didn't make the gin.
I just poured you a third of a bottle of gin in a goddamn glass of ice. I wasn't cracking the code. And the thing was, like, I didn't see him again. I was like, did I hallucinate that whole thing, man? What just happened? I'm not entirely sure what happened here, but God, your story is infinitely better. And
well, this unfolded over the course of about a year, I guess. Like, he was around for a while, and I was delivering beer to him on a pretty regular basis. And he burned through more Schlafly barrel-aged stout than I've ever seen anyone burn through.
I desperately want to know what he was ordering from the other place. Because if he's ordering from another place...
It was the Schlafly. Like, that was his go-to until they stopped making it. And I was like, hey, I got bad news, dude.
Yeah.
Like, that ain't a thing anymore.
But I'm wondering where he was ordering from. Was it another, like,
that I don't know.
Shitty liquor store? And what did they carry?
Yeah.
Because it was like...
Like, in that area?
It couldn't have been a good bottle shop like you guys. Because if it was somebody who was doing that shady sort of, like... We'll take a random credit card over the phone and drop it off in your garage.
Yeah.
It couldn't have been a reputable as a more established
Well,
place.
the dropping it off at the garage thing, that was pure us, but yeah, he said he had an employee pick it up at the other place.
An employee. I also want to know who that guy is. So many unanswered questions. It's lost to the ether, along with that Lithuanian beer and the ghost that inhabits all those bottles.
Yeah, I still have some of those. Cause it's like,
I don't want any of them.
Dude, you get those from like Terra Firma, like they're not going to take anything back. Terra Firma only has Eastern European beers.
That is
exclusive.
That is a one-way street with that distributor.
Yeah.
I forgot they existed. Terra Firma. They have those beers and like that crab beer. Those are the lobster beer.
They have Balticas.